All right, we are live. Today's show is a special one for me. Anyone that knows me knows how passionate I am about advocating for people with disabilities. My only sibling is autistic, among other disabilities that he has. And I actually went as far as writing a book titled Sibling Caregivers to help other caregivers out there to navigate being a caregiver without being burnt out. Now, my special guest today is Eric Patrick Thomas. He understands the importance of advocating for people with disabilities, especially now during COVID-19. Eric started his advocacy work back in 1997, in which Eric suffered a spinal cord injury that paralyzed him from the neck down. And throughout this journey, Eric has been using his experience to empower resilience and inspire change for people with barriers. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Happy Inspire Friday.
Yes, this is Inspire Friday. Thank you. Yes, this is a great way to inspire on a Good Friday like this.
Yes.
And welcome, everybody. My name is Obi, and this is the News with Obi, where we talk about all things politics happening in our local community and around the world. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show, Eric. So thank you so much for taking the time out to be on this show today. I know how much you like to inspire people. I know that you will go above and beyond to do that. So talk to us about your mission to educate people about how they view people with disabilities.
Well, I would say that, my mission is to let people know that people with disabilities, we're just like everybody else. We all want we want employment. We want to be able to be business owners. We want to be able to have families. We want to be treated just like anybody else is treated, equally. We want to be able to go places without having the challenges and barriers of inaccessibility. We want to be able to live in the community. We don't want to be inclusion. We want to belong. When we want to belong. So belonging is a big thing to me. A lot of we talk about diversity and inclusion. I want to belong. I want to know if I'm not there that you're missing me. And I want to be a part of that community. And I want to have decisions and voices.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people are telling the disability narrative, that it's a person with the disability that's writing it. Writers and producers and actors that actually have disabilities and not actors playing the disability that don't have the disability, because then that paints the wrong picture of what it's like, because disability does not go away.
Right.
It's there. It carries with us. It's part of us. It's just that, it doesn't just, go away at night and, the light switches off and then the disability leaves and then in the morning it comes back. Yeah. I want to make sure that people can live independently, not have to be pushed in a nursing home against their will, not have an institution, being able to live independent in a self-determination life, and be able to just have the best quality of life. That's what I want.
And how have you been going about helping people with disabilities accomplish this?
Oh, well, it started like when I got out of rehab, March 20th of 98, getting in touch with the Disability Network, Mr. Zelli. That's kind of like where this journey started, where I learned about how it's called advocacy. So he was like, hey, you got a strong story, where, some of my services are used by Medicaid and Medicare. So if there's cuts on Medicaid and Medicare or long-term care, can you get to Capitol and testify in front of the House and Senate and show them the importance that it does work, that if you have caregivers, you can live independently, you can have life. And so I've been all the way from the state capitol to Washington, D.C. I've also introduced a bill with Congressman Dale Kildee with a friend named Dave, which he passed away now. But we talked to him, and he took that information, and he introduced a bill called Money Follows the Person, and that was to get people out of nursing homes and get them living independently. And that's just some of the things. I've advocated for accessibility. When I go places, I'm looking for the accessibility, not even for using wheelchair, but closed caption, braille, because I know a lot of other people, by being around. My stepbrother's deaf, so I know the importance of sign language.
Yeah.
All these different things that I've learned. You don't learn it overnight. This is a journey you learn every single day. You're constantly learning and growing, and you have to take that info that and put it out there.
Yeah.
And try to get change. Take videos, take pictures, write blogs, do podcasts, all those different things.
Has your experience been that people with disabilities really don't get what they need to really live fully and be part of the community? Has that been your experience?
Yes, you have to fight for it.
Yeah.
It's an everyday fight. Every day we are fighting. We are fighting for proper representation. We are fighting for our independence.
Yeah.
We are fighting for our education. We are fighting to have a job.
Yeah.
We're fighting to be business owners. We are fighting just to say, look, we are part of the society. We are not invisible.
Yeah.
We are here. We need to be on boards. We need to be on committees. We also need to have a voice.
Yeah.
You're building a new city. We're going to be a part of that. We're going to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, 100%. It is a fight. And there are people out there that are isolated that don't have the circle of supports or resources. So those are the people that you got to go reach out and say, look, this is what's available. I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to show you some of the self-determination stuff that's there. I'm going to mentor you, whatever it is. Let's get you empowered, man. Let's roll.
Has it been particularly hard to advocate or to get what you need now with COVID-19 in terms of caregiver care? Has it been particularly hard now?
Before the pandemic became like where the lockdown happened, I already had a plan in place that I would if we came down to the pandemic, where it became a pandemic, I would shut down. We would close the business temporarily.
Okay.
I would move in with my caregiver temporarily, where I could receive 24-hour care still, and the rest of my caregivers could stay home, be safe with their families, and not have to travel and everything until we kind of figure everything out, because it was all new. We didn't know what was going on. There's so much information.
Right.
And then what I did is I called Senator Ananick, and I said, hey, I need some help. Like, I need to make sure that people that have disabilities, like, what happens if they get COVID? Like, how is that going to be treated? Like, are they going to be able to have their caregiver go to the hospital with them?
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to get patient care? Who's going to provide care? What about someone that just takes care of their child?
Yeah.
They don't have an agency. They don't have caregivers. They are the only caregiver. What happens if somebody gets COVID? Who's going to take care of them?
And these are things that they did not think about,
Not at all. Not at all. But my friend, the senator, he put me in touch with the governor's office of Michigan, and we were able to really talk about these things. I mean, I had a list of questions and concerns. I went on Facebook and I said, hey, now's the time. Give me your questions. Give me your concerns. I took that, I sent it over, and then they worked on it. I saw like action happening with, having an interpreter, be able to go to the hospital with the person, having a caregiver. Yeah. The other thing was paying the caregiver more money. That was another thing.
Definitely, that's huge. Yeah.
Right. The other thing was getting the 24-hour care with one person, and I got that approved.
Okay.
Through coordinating through the state, through the Disability Network, who's my acting fiduciary for my services. So to me, they were a help, a lot of help once we started working together.
Yeah, and I know for my brother's group home, for a while they didn't allow us to visit. They weren't allowing outsiders to come in, and for good reasons. And his particular group home, they have more than one facility. So they weren't allowing employees to switch in between the facilities. So I know they were doing everything they could to keep their residents safe. But like you said, it was something that you also had to advocate for and fight for to see that that was in place for you.
Yeah, and the I remember like so when I moved over to my caregiver's house, and people were like, "So what are you gonna do? You're gonna got some more time. Your business is shut down." Then I went into full drive to a whole different advocacy was like nonstop.
Wow.
We was just like trying to make sure that all the people like on Facebook, everything all right. People are inboxing me.
Yeah.
We're just trying to take care of each other.
Yeah.
And then my friend Kevin has a 3D printer, and
Okay.
I'm not able to wear a face mask.
Yeah.
Oh. So what he did is he created face shields,
Yeah.
and he started this thing called Operation Face Shields. And I
Okay.
was the third one. His kids were the first two. And
Mm-hmm.
he brings his face shield over, and now they start this 3D printing group on Facebook. And
Wow.
thousands of people are printing face shields. When I'm contacting my nurses that I
Yeah.
knew, like at Hurley and McLaren and Genesis, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we got face shields. You need some? Yeah, we're donating them. So we're
Yeah.
donating face shields, 30,000 face
So
shields.
even, I mean,
Yeah,
this is so inspiring, Eric, that even with your disability, you're still out there advocating, really making sure people are safe during COVID. Look at, you're talking about face shields and how you've been donating that.
yeah.
What really motivates you? I know your logo and everything about being, inspiring people, but what is it from the core that really motivates you and keeps you going?
It's got to be my soul, my spirit. It's got to be within,
Yeah.
It's got to be faith. It's got to be something within that I've always I've always wanted the best for someone.
Yeah.
The quality of life. If you hung out with me, we're eating food. Like, hey, need some food, need something to drink. Hey, I got you. We're taken care of. Even if we're broke, you
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
we're gonna figure out. We're gonna find a way. We're gonna make it happen. And that's kind of the way I grew up.
Yeah.
Whatever we have, we're gonna find a way and make it happen. You keep living life. We may not have the everything, but we have what we have, and we're gonna make the best of it. And so it's just something. It's just something inside me. I don't. Maybe
It's an inner
it's
drive that you almost can't even
yeah.
explain. So for people out there that are passionate about something and they are really fearful of really diving into it, what advice would you have for them?
Why are you? What's the fear? What's
What?
the fear? Like, what is the, like, what's the fear? Like, and you don't want to say woulda, shoulda, coulda. You don't want to be 50 or 40 years old saying, wow, I wish I would have done that or I regretted this. Like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? But also think about, like, do your homework, take some actionable steps, write your goal, make a target, to what you're going to do it, what you need to do, what
Yeah.
you need to achieve, make a list, write out just, whatever it is that you want to do,
Yeah.
like, and get excited about it. Because
Exactly.
you're gonna, think about accomplishing it. Think
Yeah.
about that you already did it, that
Yeah.
you already achieved the goal. And never say can't. Never, never say can't.
Do you
Always say
have
how.
do you have days when you really don't feel like going out there to inspire?
Uh, I don't think so. I
Wow.
think like I wake up because you know what? I have a brand called Inspire. I have
Right.
a business.
Yeah.
There's probably days before, like 20 years or 20 or 15 years, like when I was trying to figure things out. But the last, 10, 12 years, I wake up and every day I get to wake up and I get to work on my business. I get to work on Inspire, the
Yeah.
brand, a childhood dream. Like
Yeah.
I'd like to wake up and be able to work on the things that I get to work on. Now, sometimes there's extra things. I
Yeah.
don't like administrative stuff. I don't like all the paper, like that stuff. But I enjoy branding and identity. I enjoy advocating. I enjoy talking. I enjoy raising awareness. I
Yeah.
enjoy taking an idea and making it just, come to life and show it, and then other people enjoy it too.
Yeah.
So, but there's hard times.
Right.
Even if I wake up, I always say thank God for a beautiful day, whether it's snowing, raining, tornado, typhoon, whatever it is. If I'm
Wow.
freezing cold or super hot, feeling in pain, spazzing all over the place, hurt bad,
Mm,
I'm alive.
mm.
I'm alive and I get to do it one more time.
Wow, that's amazing. For anybody watching, listening to this later on, we are really out of excuses now. I mean, Eric is out here telling us that no matter what, he still thanks God for a beautiful day. And
Mm,
that is something to look up to. That's something that we all should, try to do. And I know just doing that alone will keep one in a positive state. And for anybody watching, hi, Jessica. I see Jessica from Millington, Michigan. Thank you for joining. And for everybody else watching, if you have any
Hi,
questions,
Jesse.
if you
That's
have,
my graphic design artist and assistant and
oh,
everything. That's
oh,
who you've been
you
corresponding
were
with.
the one I was emailing back and forth with. Is that
That's who design inspired. That's who design inspired.
Jessica? Hi, Jessica. Thanks for the great work and thanks for communicating with me earlier through email. But anybody else that has any questions for Eric, please feel free to type the comments in. Eric is a great inspiration. When I posted that he was going to be on the show today, a lot of people really wanted to tune in to come and listen and watch too.
Yeah.
So, Eric, talk to us about some of the challenges. I know we talked a little bit about that, but obstacles that you face when you go to advocate on the state level, on the federal level. What are some of the obstacles that you face, and what can we do to really help with that?
Well, first is be able to get out of bed and then getting to my wheelchair. So I got to have caregivers. Got to
Yeah,
have someone be able to do it. Take care of me and do my daily living.
yeah,
Then getting into a transportation, accessible transportation,
right,
and then getting to, maybe I have to go to the airport and making sure that the people on the plane know how to put me on an airplane seat or an aisle chair.
right,
Because there's no accessible planes.
yeah,
When you travel by plane, you got to get lifted up, put in a dolly, an aisle chair, and then you're put into an airplane seat. And it can be rough. It's
wow.
all possible, but you got to have planned. You got to plan
You
ahead.
have to plan it ahead of time.
Yeah, and then getting to the place. So say it's DC and you're going to go advocate or you're going to introduce a bill. So you got to schedule time with the house, like with the Congress for like maybe you're doing meetings and stuff to talk about what you're trying to get introduced. So there could be barrier challenges there,
Yeah,
accessible challenges. The other thing, they could just be listening to you. You're talking great. Like you're like, I got this going on. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And they're looking at you, and their mind is like racing a mile a minute. They got all these thoughts. They're like, oh my gosh, like how does he move? How does he live like that? How does he like get around? How does he all these questions? And you're like, so what do you think? And they're like, oh yeah, yeah.
sort of
And I'm
focus
like,
the bill you're trying to introduce. They're really thinking about other things, right?
yeah, they're not even they're some of them are freaked out. Some of
Mm,
them are trying to figure it out. One thing when they try to shake my hand, that's a
yeah.
like, hi, how you doing? Nope, they can't. I'm not able to shake. Sorry, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
shoulder
And
bump.
this also comes from a lack of awareness too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
If more, I wouldn't be like a something that they didn't understand. If more and more of people with disabilities were out there so much that it's like, oh, like you wouldn't even. It would just be like I'm just a person that uses a power wheelchair with the
yeah,
straw. They wouldn't be focusing on just
yeah,
everything. Like, how do you do this? You should know. You're in Congress now. You
yeah,
make it. You
yeah.
the ADA. It was introduced in 1990. You should know.
Right.
Equal.
So clearly, they don't know, and you are really out here educating a lot of folks on something that, if especially if they're passing a bill, you will think that they will know that.
Well,
Now,
yeah, especially with voting and stuff. I mean, it's
exactly, which now segues to what we're going to be talking about next.
oh, go ahead. There we go.
November 3rd. November 3rd is an important date for us here in the United States.
Yes,
Talk to people out there who believe that their vote does not count.
your vote counts, and if you believe it doesn't count, there are people that sacrifice their bodies their spirits, their lives, they went out there and they put their hard work to get us to be able to vote private and independently.
Yeah.
If you go back into the century, just years of people that fought just to vote, and they didn't just fought and they got beat up, ridiculed, separated, segregated,
Yeah.
you know, sprayed water,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, and death, you know,
Exactly.
to vote, to
Right.
utilize that right, that voice, to vote, to say, I'm going to hire this person
Yeah.
to run this country or to, be in be a house or in
Yeah.
the Senate or local or state level. You know, it does count. It does mean a lot. And I can tell you, it took me 21 years to vote private and independently. When I went to the polling location, they would always say, just have your caregiver mark the ballot for you or the person that's with you. And at first, I didn't realize that I had rights,
Mm.
and there was assistive technology. But as I got stronger in this, with around other people that were they were grinding hard,
Yeah.
with voting and lots of other people. Like I advocate, but there's a lot of people out there that I mean, they're advocating
They're
nine.
really going hard
Oh
nonstop.
yeah, like there's some advocates out there, which I wish that they got a lot of recognition that what they're doing, so
Yeah.
it can help them. But there's some strong advocates. I recognize all of them. I recognize the people that advocated before me too, because without them, I wouldn't have this independence
Yeah.
that I have now. So with the voting, finally, I started doing YouTube videos and saying like, yeah, today's the day I'm gonna vote, blah blah blah, independent, then come back and get the same results.
Wow.
So I started listening to myself on video, and I was like, Eric, it's not gonna happen. And
Mm.
then I went to the polling location, and I was like, that's it. I'm not. I'm taking a stance. I'm not gonna vote. I'm not voting. And people there were like, whoa, but you made it up here. You're here. Why don't you vote? I said, because if I do it, I'm gonna get the same results. And I've been doing this for a long time. And then I would explain, and then before you know it, there was 20 people around. They were like, yeah, I'm behind you. Do what you
Mm.
gotta do.
Yeah.
Because I didn't vote, I was able to vote the next time, private and independently.
That's
Because
awesome.
I shot it, I recorded a video inside the polling location where the machine is.
So and how they weren't really equipped to really handle.
The
Um.
machine wasn't even plugged in.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So the video sort of went viral. Michigan Protection Advocacy stepped up and they said, "Look, your right, your rights have been violated.
Hmm.
Send a letter to the city of Flint. You need to vote private and independently." And then I had to learn all the voting laws: Michigan voting law, election law, the vendors, and then the Help America Voting Act. That was the one. The
Yeah.
Help America Voting Act of 2012. Every person has the right to vote private and independent. And these states are getting money to buy machines for private and independent voting. And I said, right there, that's it right there. We're going to go off of that. And before you know it, the city clerk, somehow they got a sip and puff headset now to vote.
Yeah. Wow,
So
that's
I was,
awesome. And that's the more reason people really should go out and vote. I see Livy is joining us. She's saying awesome, Mr. Inspire. Thank you for joining us.
thank you.
And for anybody listening, watching, if you live in the United States, November 3rd, absentee ballot, voting early. You should make sure that you send your registration cards or voting thing in a few days before so that the post office can really get it to be counted. So please, people like Eric are out there fighting for us and people with disabilities to vote. So please make sure that you make your voice heard on November 3rd. Now, you live in Flint, Michigan, and we all know
Yes.
about the water crisis in Flint. How has that been? I know not much change has happened, but especially now during COVID-19, do you have clean drinking water? Have the pipes been changed around where you are? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Uh, yeah, it's it's been rough. It's been rough. It's challenging, and I'm a person that lives with by myself, with
Mm.
with people that come in and take care of me, caregivers. I feel for the people that have kids and families, and they're like, how they do it. It's just, it's heartbreaking, and it's so criminal what's happened to poison this city, to poison us, and how it was just done. Um, with COVID, it was just like another hit on top
Yeah.
of what
On
we were
top of
dealing with.
the crisis. And how
Um,
long has it been now?
April 2014.
Wow. So
And Flint still needs clean drinking water,
wow.
still. And I would say this. Now, I know that my pipes were replaced, but the transparency of how my water is not there. There's no transparency. I
Yeah.
still got filters on the tap. We don't use it. We have a cooler now, a water cooler. When the water started getting bad
Yeah.
and I started getting rashes, that
Mm,
was it. Nobody used that water. We're using it's like a water cooler, like at an office. It's got a hot and cold tap. So that's what we use. And then, in the beginning, they said boil your water. It's fine. Come to find out, when you boiled your water, it intensified the lead. So
wow.
it's
So
and then this, yeah.
what really are they saying the hold up is? Is it funds or like you said, not lack of transparency?
Well, if you go to the website, it'll say like, so many pipes have been replaced. By this time and this time, we're gonna have the pipes replaced 100%. What that means, I don't know. Does that mean the pipes are replaced and then the water just all of a sudden is clean? Do they got to get a new water system? I mean, I think there's a lot to learn about it,
Yeah.
and there are some people on the ground uh, constantly fighting for
Yeah.
us in this community. There's soldiers out there
Wow.
nonstop trying to expose, like, to say, look, I went to this meeting, I went to this meeting, I went to this meeting. They'll go to 5 meetings in a day and post it on Facebook and
Yeah.
say there's PFAs. So not just the lead, but the PFA level too. That came into the mix too. And
Yeah.
then the Legionnaires disease and stuff, where people were dying from that. It's just,
Yeah.
it's it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
It's, you actually got to dedicate like it's a job, like it's the all 24/7, just learning about water and the what's going on. To me, to my own personal, is transparency, because I just don't know.
How can people in your community vote to really see some kind of change with that? Will that can that be effective with voting?
The people that are in the office,
Yeah.
maybe they want to put new people in position that are ready to make some change. Not just say they're going to change and then they get into office and then it's just the same thing. It's
Yeah.
the same, it's the same, what do they call that? The record, the same broken record. It
Yeah.
just keeps repeating. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Go to the polling location and vote them out.
Yeah. That's where the change
If you
starts.
want
You gotta
change
vote
in
'em
this
out.
country,
Yeah.
instead of sitting there complaining
Yeah.
and yelling at the TV, go vote and, exercise that right, and that whoever you want to hire.
Yeah.
It's your right. It's your privacy. It's your independence to do. If you think that you need some change, go vote for change. And by doing that, you've got to go vote. Go
Yeah.
vote, and then also learn how to introduce bills to legislative, like how to take an idea, how to say, look, we want to introduce this. How do you co-sponsor a bill and put it on the floor and get it voted in the House and Senate?
Because nothing
Because
nothing really happens till you get to talk to the lobbyists, really.
legislative change. That's one of the things that I focused on while I was, with the COVID lockdown, when we were having uh, the protests and stuff. I talked to my friends and I said, look, I can get my friend that's a senator, and he can help us and teach us
Yeah.
how to get bills sponsored, because you have to get legislative. You got to get them saying, oh yeah, you know what? We're going to change this because we want change, not
Yeah.
just talk about it, because you got to have legislative change. Look at the American Disability Act, 1990. Before that, I mean, it was
It
little
was,
by little.
yeah, close to nothing almost, right?
Yeah, there were people, and people sacrificed their, surrounded buses, and and crawled up the Capitol steps.
Yeah.
I mean, like these, and then with the healthcare, people that I couldn't lay on the ground. I'd probably get a pressure wound or something, but they sacrificed their bodies for us.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out there saying, look, we are fighting, man. They fight hard.
Yeah.
They fight hard for people in this country.
Yeah.
And that's that's what's
Yeah.
going on.
Shout out to everybody out there advocating boots on the ground.
Yes.
Even if you're not out there, boots on, like whatever you can do, using your platform to advocate, using, for people that can't speak for themselves or people that can't physically go out there, shout out to you. And, a lot of youth have been really active despite the pandemic. We've seen a lot of uprisings with the youth and they're pretty much fed up. So kudos to everybody out there making a difference. Jessica actually put a comment. She said it's a brick wall of bureaucracy when we were talking about the water crisis in Flint. Yeah, that's definitely true, Jessica. Thank you for chiming in. And
Yeah.
talk to our viewers, Eric, about your business. And I know you also go around to schools to talk to the kids in school. So talk to us about how the business came about and where we can actually support the business and buy your stuff.
Yeah. The business, when I got out of rehab, March 20th of 98, all the questions happened. I was like, how am I going to be able to work and I tried to do a record label and it went so far. Then I started writing for an entertainment newspaper. Then I write by my voice using Dragon Naturally Speaking. Then that went and it ran its course. Then I did mentoring. Then I went and I opened up an internet radio station.
Mm.
And that went and ran its course. I even went to DC and we introduced the Internet Radio Equality Act in 2006, trying
Wow.
to save internet radio at that time.
Yeah.
There was some changes with royalty rates and
Yeah.
stuff. And so I eventually had to close it down. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I went back to this childhood dream. I already, built a relationship with, in this city, and there's a person named Cheryl. She works for Goodwill. They have a contract with Genesee House Systems. I received supportive employment services through there. So it was like, hey, I want to start a business and I want to do like t-shirt. It started with t-shirt. So we just started developing the business plan, writing it, letting people read it, giving feedback, rewriting it and over and over and over until we finally got a solid business plan. And then I introduced this to my friend Ziad. And he was like, instead of trying to get an investment for the startup, you want to be a business partner. Then we became Easy Awareness by Design, which stands for Eric and Ziad, Bring Awareness by Design.
Yeah.
That was in 2011, July 2011.
Okay.
And before you know it, Goodwill had an incubator space opening up November 2011. The
Nice.
doors are open. It's time to work.
Nice.
It's time to open the door. It's time to learn, because
Yeah.
you learn by experience too. You
Definitely.
learn by reading and talking to people and doing your homework.
Yeah.
But the other part of learning is doing.
Yes.
That's the learning right there.
Failing, getting back up and learning from the failures.
Yeah, every time you fail, you grow.
Yes.
You gotta fail. You gotta have challenges
Yes.
all day. If you skate through, there's no way.
Yeah.
You've had challenges. You've dropped the ball. You failed. Just say you have. You're accountable and grow from it and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's where that started. And then we were able to do a lot of things with the equipment we had, signs and banners and t-shirts. And then we started writing out Inspire and we started putting it on my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to speak, and it wasn't just schools, I speak wherever. I'll speak in the streets. I'll speak at a retail store. I just speak, I share my testimony.
Good for you.
I share my story because you never know how it's going to help a person.
Exactly.
You don't know, and you may never know that it helped that person.
Yeah.
So I try to share it as much as I can and raise awareness about everything.
Yeah.
And then I went to a school, Swords Creek Middle School, was talking to the kids and stuff. And it was just like I saw their eyes, their eyes lit up like sunshine or something. They were just so glowing.
It was a spark.
Yeah, it was like that aha moment. Like,
yeah,
it's time to make this public. It's time to not just have it on me.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then a few months later, we went to the Damon John Academy. That was awesome. We learned a lot. And we had a lot of designs when we went down there. And they were like, yeah, show your designs. And we're like, we took up 2 tables and we're showing the designs. But we were focusing on Inspire, but not 100%. And then he was like, so which one are you marketing and focusing on? All of them. He was like, no. so so we in our website, we had stuff on the website. We had no idea how to make sales. We had no idea about e-commerce. We had stuff. We had a website.
So
We didn't
Damon
have a website.
will really kind of helped you get like a good layout.
Oh, for sure. The I look at the layout of Fubu as the path, and then put my own what
Yeah.
I've learned into it. The David John Academy, we learned a lot. The next day that we had work, the next work day was like March 17th or something like that. We took down the website and we opened up Shopify. And then we
Wow.
opened up a Shopify page in e-commerce, and then we learned it. Jesse learned. Jesse's like a pro at this stuff now with the back end of it. Like
Go.
she knows a lot. Yeah, she knows a lot more. She knows a lot more than me for sure. She's on the dashboard, doing the design, putting the shirts up, and then it was a Friday, Friday the 13th, June 13th, and then Damon wore the shirt, wore an inspired shirt, and he had this huge this like one-page paragraph, and then he called me the brand of inspiration. And I was like,
Nice, nice.
yeah.
That endorsement is huge.
And so we started Inspire Friday. So
Ah,
that's how we started
that's
Inspire
where
Friday
that came
because
from. Okay.
our team was like, yeah, that's awesome. We were like,
Yeah.
yeah. We were
And
geeked up.
here we are doing a show on a Friday, and with
I
you,
know.
Inspire Friday. I normally would do the show on a Wednesday, but because I had to go back to work after 6 months, so I had to move it back to a Friday, which was the original day that I taped the show. So I'm glad this worked out. And for people that want to purchase your t-shirts, how can we find you? Social media, all of that good stuff. Let us know.
Um, I would say like Google search me, Eric Patrick Thomas. Then you can find like videos and social media and everything. But
Yeah.
then also my social media handles are Eric Patrick Thomas,
Yeah.
except Twitter, it's Eric P. Thomas.
Right.
And then Inspire, you can do easyawareness.com. You can also do inspireshirt.com, inspireshirt.com. And that'll take you to that too. We're also on Amazon, amazon.com/inspireshirt. We're also on Etsy, etsy.com/inspireshirt. So we're and the Instagram.
You're a true merchant. You're a true businessman.
I learned. Hey,
You learn from the
a lot.
best. I mean, you learn from Damon. So
And then the Instagram handle is inspired shirt #1. For some reason, we had to put a #1, and
okay.
then the rest of it is inspired shirt for Twitter and Facebook, and
Okay.
then easy awareness for all the rest of them.
Okay.
And
So
that's and then just
yeah.
like message me.
So let's go out and support Eric. It's easy to find him. Just type in easyawareness.com, ericpatrickthomas.com. You will definitely find him on Instagram. He's really active. So you can't miss his Instagram, his Twitter, his Facebook. I had and YouTube. They sent me a list. Jesse sent me a list of social media handles. I'm like, whoa, I'm clicking on all of this. I couldn't fit all of them on the screen today with the show, but that was really helpful. Thank you so much. I'm like, Eric is really out there. And I know when we were talking about being on the show, my first question was, have you done any advocacy work? And then you sent me your bio and the social media links. I'm like, oh my God, I feel bad for even asking that question. But
next time somebody asks me that question, I'm just going to send them your show. Say yes, here it is.
Yeah,
this is it right here.
The show definitely is going to live on Facebook, on Instagram, on Facebook and YouTube. By tomorrow, I'll have it up on podcast at the News with Obi. And I want to thank you so much, Eric, for taking the time to be on the show. This has been very informative. And like I said at the beginning, this was a special show for me because I can personally relate to people with disabilities. My brother, my only sibling, has a disability. So having you on the show tonight is great. So thank you so
Oh
much.
yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having on Inspire Friday. Did that
Yeah,
work out or what? Yeah.
it worked perfect, perfect. Inspire Friday. I'm gonna when I post a little snippet of this later on Instagram, I'm gonna hashtag it Inspire Friday.
Yes.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you so much. And for people that tuned in this evening, if you're going to be watching later, I appreciate you taking your time to join us. Please follow Eric on all his social media platforms and really support his work. And Jesse is saying Eric lives and breathes advocacy. It's not even a joke. He really does. He's
Woo
really
woo.
out there doing the work. And if Eric can advocate for people with disabilities being able to vote, you have no reason not to go vote on November 3rd, or sending in your ballot, or doing what you need to do early. So please make sure that you take advantage of the ability that we have to vote. Most places they don't have that ability to vote, so and we
Yeah.
do. So thank you so much. And people watching, listening, the News with Obi runs on donations. If you feel it in your heart to make a little donation to News with Obi, that would be great. But if not, just know that I have a passion to do this, and I really want to use my platform and my voice to be like Eric and inspire.
Yes. This has been awesome.
This has been awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And while you guys are out there, please wear your mask. Be well, be safe. And I have my friend and trainer Kareem. Kareem, you're late to the show. Oh yeah, you did tell me you were gonna be late. Thank you for taking the time out for even tuning in. So thank you so much, and be well, be safe while you're out there. Please wear your mask. COVID-19 is still out there. This is just our first wave. Hopefully, the second wave won't happen or will not be bad, but so far, they haven't been wrong with predicting the virus. So be well, everybody. Have a good night, Eric.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Thanks, Kareem, for donating as well.
Sweet. Oh, wake up. Mom's good. 8, 8, 4, 2. Go to sleep.
Sorry,
Mark,
Eric. I forgot to end this. There we go.
did you end the broadcast?